Hello scrapbooking friends, and thank you for joining me for another process video. So today I'm working on another layout of my own design, and I'm sort of a little bit scrap lifting my previous layout that I did, the fabulous fringe one. So 2 3x4 photos and kind of a top left to bottom right sort of central design. Yeah, that's what I've got in mind. So I've mounted this pattern paper onto this other pattern paper which came from a travel themed pad, but I've no idea what it was. I did win it in a competition a few years ago, and yeah, it's the last sheet, and I don't know where it came from, I'm afraid, but it's just kind of like a light sort of brown colour. Simple story, simple vintage seas, sandy shores. Yeah, so that's this stripy paper, and on the other side of that is the one with all the little birdies, seagulls on it. So I thought I'd use the stripy paper because it's absolutely lovely. And today I'm documenting Jill and Eric, two of the very old donkeys who reside at the Isle of Wight Donkey Sanctuary. This is Jill here and this is Eric. And what I've done is I've popped those two photos onto tracing paper just to give them a little bit of definition. I've added a little bit of gesso to the page here because that's where part of my title is going to go. So I thought I'd define that as well. What have I got? I've got some bunting wood veneer pieces here, some card candy here, some heart wood veneer, some Bramble Fox title pieces there. That's what's on my plate today. And I've also pulled out the Heidi Swap Colour Shining White, and I've got my archival blue ink in Cobalt, and the gesso that I use is Vicky Booting. So yeah, I think as I said, it's going to be very sort of similar to the layout that I did before of Billy Boy, this mini Shetland. Yeah, just love that design, and when I saw these photos and this paper and everything, I just thought, oh yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So I think Heartwarming here I've popped on top of the gesso there to make it stand out a little bit more. And then this tracing paper, I sort of wanted it to fall here on this line so that you can kind of see that the tracing paper is there, because it's actually quite hard to see on this pattern paper. So I just wanted there to be a little bit of definition there. I've got my ruler up at the top there for another element of the layout that I'm going to be doing in a minute, just to get it centered, and I'll use that to eyeball the center for that bit as well. So what I thought I'd do with these little triangle pieces, which are, I'm pretty certain, intended to be used as bunting, and to thread you know, some sort of twine through them, but I actually don't think I'm going to do that today, partly because it's like really fiddly and partly because I don't actually mind the look of it without. So I know that seems a bit strange, but yeah, I may change my mind later and add a little bit of jute or something. I'm not sure, but at this moment in time I'm just to leave it as it is. And what I thought I'd do is just have a little bit of bunting at the top of the page in celebration of these two absolutely lovely donkeys. And the card candy pieces, I'm trying to use my stash. So card candy pieces I've had in my stash for a very long time, many years, probably definitely over 10 years anyway. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of those in different colours and things, and I thought these little gold ones would be perfect for the golden oldies here. And then I've got this other Bramble Fox piece which says stories, and I thought I'd pop that at the bottom here. And what I think I might try and do is a little bit of journaling on the tracing paper here. Let's see how I can make that work, as I've stuck it down to the page already, so I can't really make a mistake. I've got this little bottom piece as well just hanging around, Bramble Fox piece hanging around, that must have formed part of a fox box and I haven't actually used it. So yeah, I thought I might try and pop that on this page. Might even put it on that side. No, I think it will go on this side. And I know there's two holes in it there like a button, and it kind of sort of fits in with the bits at the top there, I thought. And as it was the right colour and everything, I thought it'd be perfect for this layout. It does look a little bit dirty actually. I might have to put it on have it on the other side, the less shiny side, which I actually prefer anyway. And then the only other thing I've got in my little on my little plate of goodies here is these hearts, because you probably know, if you follow me already, that every layout with a donkey has to have a heart at least somewhere on the page. I thought this blue pattern paper, stripy paper, went really well because of the sort of the background there on the wall section of the barn. This paper, you know, is obviously intended for beach or sea varying themed layouts, but yeah, I'll use them in any way that I can. So that's kind of like the design that I'm thinking. I'm a little bit nervous about this writing now. I know what I'll do. I'm going to do the names of the donkeys. So what I thought I'd do is just stamp them on the lines here, in the blue, with this small alphabet set that I like to use. So we'll just give that a go. Just roughly. So Jill and Eric are both in the Old and Proud herd. They live in the Old and Proud herd at the Donkey Sanctuary. And that's the herd with the donkeys that are in their 30s and 40s and need extra care. So there are older donkeys in other herds, but this herd is for the ones that need extra TLC. So they don't have very many teeth between them, and they are at risk of choke. So they have sloppy food fed to them sort of 3 times a day, and they don't really have sort of hay and straw. It's all kind of water. It's added to water, made into like a sloppy food for them. And they do all probably have medication and what have you. Jill here is at risk of choke. She's the donkey that they created a step for, so she puts her front hooves on the step, so she eats at an angle, and then her bowl is at an angle, and it helps to prevent choke. And she was actually just having some tests done this day when I was there. She'd been separated, she was having some tests done, and this was later on, and she'd come back into the herd. And I'd been grooming Eric, and Eric, I don't know what he'd been up to, but he had a few tangles on him, so I'd reported it to another person at the sanctuary, and another volunteer sort of helped me to groom Eric and sort him out, because yeah, I think he'd been having a roll or something. His fur was a little bit tangled in places. So I spent quite a lot of time with Eric that day, and it was only the other day, and yeah, so I thought I saw them both together after Jill came back into the herd, so I thought I would snap a little photo of them, and I'll pop a little video at the end of this process video. I'll pop a little video of these two at the end of the video so you can see them, just, you know, standing around like donkeys do. Right, this is Heartwarming, so that's just going to go there, right on top of that gesso. I think that'll be fine. I'll pop that down. I've put a little foam pad underneath each one of these little domed card candy pieces. I mean, I don't know if you can still get these. They were quite all the rage sort of when I got them, which would have been around about 2009. And I did get quite a lot of them. And they're great. They're sort of like enamel dots, really, I suppose. A little bit larger than some, but yeah, so I thought I'd try and get some of those used. I've got them in all different shades, like metallics and all pastels and everything. So yeah, I'm going to try and use some of those. These wood veneer bunting pieces, I'm pretty sure I've not had too long. I think that looks okay. Now then, we'll pop these hearts down. Try and get them symmetrical if I can. A little bit anyway. This one. Similar place on the other side too. Yep. And then this one down here. Now then, what I think I might do next, I think that's everything glued down other than the base, the lower title piece here. I don't think I'm going to do gesso here because there's quite a lot of white underneath that. And I think you can read that, whereas I felt as though when I popped that on there, I think the word is a little bit difficult to read anyway, and I just thought I'd highlight it a little bit just to make it easier. And with this being in bold white, I think it's quite easy to read, so I don't think I'm going to gesso that. But what I am going to do now is probably do a little bit of writing on here in my blue Uniball fine gel pen, and I'll just pause to do that because it's going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, so I managed to do that writing, and it was quite easy to do actually. I'm going to try not to smudge it now and let it dry thoroughly. And all I said was, Jill rejoined the herd after seeing the vet. I thoroughly groomed Eric as he had tangles. I wanted to say a little bit more than that, but I couldn't fit it on, and I just went with it. So I'm hoping that makes sense. I think it does. It makes sense to me. He just had a few little tangles in his fur and just needed sorting out. I wanted to say, yeah, I'm not sure what I wanted to say. Maybe he was a little bit tangled. I don't know. Anyway, I think you can understand what it said. It's fine. Right. And then that's that down. I was going to add some of this colour shine, but when I was originally planning this layout, I was planning on it being more of a top left to bottom right layout, and I was sort of planning for the hearts to sort of go here and here, but that was before I decided to do the banner at the top there. So, and I was going to do a little bit of splattering here and here, but now I'm thinking I probably don't need to do that because I've got the gesso, and yeah, I'm not going to do it because it's not, yeah, I don't need to sort of, I'm not going to define the top left and the bottom right when it's not that kind of layout anymore. It's more of a vertical central layout with a little bit of extending embellishing, which is what I love to do. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. Sorry about that, took a lot of explaining. Now I just need to add the title, the date. I mean, does that look right there? Have I done that too far over? I think I have, haven't I? I think I've put that too far over because that's the centre there. I think it needed to be over that way a bit more. I know what I'll do, I'll just put the date here and then it might not look, it doesn't look so bad then, I don't think. Right, yeah, that's fine. That's kind of centred it a bit more. And yeah, kind of made a little bit of mess of that date there with not doing it straight, but that's fine. I don't mind that at all. And that's not actually come out too good either, but it's fine because it's kind of a rustic layout, which is what I like to do. So yeah, another layout completed. Very sort of vertically centred, this one. I've got Jill and Eric's names on there, just told the story. The Bramble Fox piece is quite a bit of wood veneer on here, and a little bit of old stash used up with the card candy and the pattern paper at the back here. So yeah, really pleased with that. So once again, thank you for joining me. Take care, stay safe, and I shall see you next time.